This morning, I want to speak especially to those of you who are going to be graduating. Because at this time, as you know, you're supposed to have huge events and commencement speakers, and everybody's supposed to get dressed up and be awarded a diploma. And that's what has happened, well, since high schools and colleges were invented. In one way or another, human beings always create ceremonies to mark the end of something significant. That's just what we do. And this year, as you know, that's not exactly possible. And the first thing that I want to say to those of you who are graduates is you have every right to feel bad about that. If you feel bad about not being able to have a graduation ceremony, and someone says, well, look at all these other people that have it worse, you can say to them, you're absolutely right. Other people have it worse. But I'm mourning this specific loss. And in fact, whatever happens to you in the world, you can always be sure that someone else will have it worse. And yes, you should feel grateful for all the gifts you do have, and I know that you do. And every morning, it is a really wonderful practice to wake up and say, Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. I am grateful to you, God, for restoring my soul to me and for all the gifts that I have, but I still can be upset about the fact that this thing that every other year got, I didn't get. That's okay. You can be both grateful and have a grievance. They're not mutually exclusive. I feel very grateful for all the blessings that I have in my life. But when I leave my office, if I trip and fall down the stairs, believe me, I'll be upset. And that doesn't take away my sense of gratitude for all the things that I do have, or my sense of upset that I'm sometimes such a klutz. So the first thing I wanted to say to you is what you are feeling now is okay, whatever that feeling is. And the second thing that I want to say to you is that while we don't know why things happen, everybody has theories, but nobody knows. The one thing that we do know is that everything that happens to us, especially everything important, and especially things that are important that are difficult, all of them, we can grow from and learn lessons from. And I want to suggest to you one lesson from graduating during a pandemic that will stand you in good stead for the rest of your lives, at least to think about and remember. Most of what we do, because we are human beings and we are social creatures, most of what we do with some thought of how other people will react to it. And when they react well, it feels good. And when they react badly, it doesn't. And there is, by the way, no time in your life when you are more acutely aware, when you are more attuned, more sensitive to other people's reactions than in high school. Because you see the same people every single day and you live in a sort of small village where everyone knows everyone knows everyone. And that's why graduation is graduation, because everybody sees that you accomplished this and you go up there and you receive the diploma and the head of school congratulates you. And in fact, all of it is wonderful and beautiful. But of course, you didn't study in order to get a diploma. And you didn't even study, ultimately, so that you could go on to the next school. And really, even though you think so, I'm going to tell you that you didn't study even so that one day you could have a good career. You study so you can be a certain kind of person. That's what learning is really about. So that you can be someone who carries things in your head through life. I mean, why is my office full of books? It's not because I thought if I read enough books, I'll be a successful rabbi. No, it's because I wanted to read enough books to learn enough to be a certain kind of person. A person who has resources inside to know things and explain things and understand things that I wouldn't if I didn't learn from the wisdom of other people. That's why you go to school. And the motivations that are internal, that are inside you, that aren't about the big ceremony, that aren't about other people telling you you did a great job, though that's all wonderful and good, but the motivation that you're doing this because you need to know you can do it, because you need to master this, because you need to know that even though you went into this class knowing nothing about the subject, you came out with a grasp. Being that kind of person, that's what matters. And the most important thing is what you know inside you, not what the rest of the world tells you. And that's why what's going on inside you, especially now, you should keep a record of. This is the third piece of advice I want to give you. One is about your feelings. The second is about the internal strength that you need to have to be who you are. And the third is to record what is happening to you now. One of the things that everyone who is young knows is that older people love to tell you about things that happened years ago. Let me tell you what happened during the war. Let me tell you what happened during the escape from here or there. Let me tell you what happened at a time that you don't know and you can't imagine. And even though sometimes as younger people, we roll our eyes at the stories, the truth is we also learn from them and they're important. And now that I'm getting to be one of the older people, I appreciate some of the stories that I heard when I was one of the younger ones. And this moment, the moment of the pandemic, it's unlike any moment in all of human history. It's the first time that the entire world not only was going through something at the same time, but everyone in the world knew that everyone was going through something at the same time. We celebrated Aiden and Noah's moment this morning, marking what would be their bar mitzvah. And I want to say mazel tov to the Goldbar and Satara families. And you realize one day you will be able to say that you had the moment of your bar mitzvah as a family at a time that was unlike any other time in history. That's an astonishing thing. And therefore, I'm suggesting that you take some time to write what you have gone through at this time, because in later years, you'll want to look back and remember a time unlike any other. And you'll forget, we all forget, you'll forget some of the things that right now you think you'll never forget. So keep a little bit of a journal. Write what it's like to graduate at such a time, to live through such a time, so that 10, 20, 50 years from now, you'll be able to be one of those people who can say, let me tell you what it was like during the pandemic. People will want to know, because it will be over, and then there will be things to understand. One last message. We all know that there are a lot of people in this time who are struggling, and that we owe them our help, our concern, both as a society and as individuals. And I know so many of you are involved in tzedakah projects, in giving and in helping, and I think that's wonderful. And I hope that it is a legacy of your tradition, which teaches us always to care for those who are less fortunate than us. But it also teaches you something else, which is what we do on this Shabbat that Rabbi Guzik mentioned in her drash a little earlier in the service. which is we complete the book of Vayikra, of Leviticus, and we say, Chazak, Chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, and we will be strengthened. And I want to give you an explanation of that phrase. What does it mean, be strong, and we will be strengthened? What it means is, listen, whoever you are, whatever situation you are in, if you strengthen yourself, if you are strong, if you understand that whatever the disappointments or difficulties of this life, you have a purpose and a mission and you are strong, then your strength will strengthen all of us. You might think that the entire Jewish community doesn't depend on the strength of one person who's graduating high school. It's not true. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh bazeh. All of Israel is dependent on one another. Your strength strengthens us. So we want to say, Mazal Tov, congratulations, be strong, be proud, go forward with the knowledge that you did it. And now, I hope you will keep watching as we have a beautiful video to thank our graduates and to feature them. It's only a few minutes long, but it says a lot.